Barack and Michelle Obama are about to become a big part of the popular culture, having just signed a huge development deal with Netflix. But is the popular culture leaving them behind? Hey everybody, I'm Steve Green with Bill Whittle and Scott Ott, and this is your right angle on the next stage in the culture wars, or maybe it's a new front. Not exactly sure, and this is brought to you, of course, by the members of BillWhittle.com. All right, everybody probably saw the big headlines on Monday about this deal that the Obamas have inked with Netflix, although curiously enough, I haven't seen a dollar figure on this thing. But according to the story, Netflix has secured a deal with former President Barack Obama and First Lady Michelle Obama to produce series and movies for the streaming service. The former first couple will, according to an announcement from the company, potentially work on scripted and unscripted series, as well as docuseries, documentary films, and features under a multi-year deal. Scott, let me put this kind of bluntly. Are the Obamas about to become these huge new popular producers of filmed entertainment, or are they just cashing out?
Well, it'll be fascinating to see. I mean, President Obama came into the White House with essentially no previous political experience, having served so little time as a senator and having not shown up a lot of times for that little time that he did serve in his state legislature. So it'll be interesting to see whether he can parlay his lack of gifts and abilities in the White House into something that demonstrates a lack of gift and abilities in production of film and video. Steve, there's a reason why you've not seen an amount of money attached to this deal, and that's because the Obamas would not take money for telling the American story. I think it's been a driving force in their lives that they just want to be able to bring the stories of ordinary Americans to the forefront so that we can see how great this country really is. And that is a labor of love. They would not deign to stoop to pick up filthy lucre in compensation for that. I'm actually kind of on the weird side of this. I think that presidents should not be treated as presidents after they leave the White House.
Of course
I think,
not,
obviously in today's society, you got to kind of provide them a bodyguard or whatever, because some whack job will, try to whack them. But I think that presidents ought to return to the plow, so to speak, and be ordinary citizens. So if this ordinary citizen Obama and his ordinary wife want to pursue a career in film and television, well, go for it. I don't care. I mean, George Bush is painting pictures of veterans and, whatever you want to do after the White House is fine with me. I just don't think that we should have to be part of funding much of that. And I wish them well in the sense that, I want all Americans to be happy. On the other hand, I also wish that we were a lot more attuned to what they understand, which is that he's going to have more impact working for Netflix than he ever did working for us.
Well, Scott, I guess maybe my point of phrasing the question the way I did is that previously, when our presidents retired, it was more or less like Cincinnatus returning to his plow, and I really like that. But is there something corrupt about our politics that somebody with no accomplishments, I mean zero, no business experience, no huge legislation that has actually been a success, is able to turn his success in electoral politics, just winning elections, into multi-million-dollar deals? Is that something corrupting in America?
Frankly, Barack Obama has had several very successful books go out over his name, and I think if Bill Ayers writes some good movies for Netflix, I think that we'll enjoy that kind of entertainment as well. The president himself has said, the former president has said that he does not intend to use this as a platform to take shots at the sitting president. But he has also previously said that he hopes to speak from time to time from his heart about what he thinks is good for the country. And in this announcement, he says that he had an opportunity over the years, he and Michelle have had an opportunity over the years to meet some fascinating Americans. So it's almost sounded like what he envisions doing is kind of doing the introduction to little stories about ordinary people who are doing great things. Doubtless he's going to do that to advance the agenda that he's been behind for all this time. And again, I don't think it behooves conservatives to go, I'm going to boycott Netflix because President Obama is on there. Hey, pal, have you watched Netflix? Have you seen anything on Netflix? If this is what it takes to get you to boycott Netflix, I have a feeling you should have just canceled your subscription long ago because you weren't watching.
Oh boy. Okay, Bill. I mentioned in the introduction to this that maybe the popular culture is leaving the Obamas behind, and this story started off really just a couple of weeks ago with the big Twitter rant, maybe you should call it. Rant isn't a nice word, and I really respect what the guy was doing. But Kanye West coming out on Twitter and saying, "Hey, get off this mental reservation. Support Trump if you like what he's doing. I like some of what he's doing." And now, I hate to quote Infowars. I think in the 9 or 10 years we've been doing this, I've gone to Infowars for stories maybe 2 times before this. So instead, I will quote Monica Showalter at American Greatness, or at American Thinker, talking about this. She wrote, "We have a report of President Obama making phone pleas to another rap star, Jay-Z, and maybe also Beyonce, asking him to urge other hip-hop artists not to visit President Trump in the White House." And Showalter goes on, former President Barack Obama has reportedly asked Jay-Z to encourage them not to do what Kanye West has done. Are there cracks in the pop culture that the liberal left has used to make themselves such a political force?
Well, first of all, I despise this entire fake but accurate idea. I think it's the road to ruin. So until the story's confirmed, I'll preface it by saying that. But if ever anything sounded true, this has got the ring of truth to it. So I'm going to just assume it's true for the sake of the argument. It is the. I did a firewall on this called Kanye West Racist. Wait, what?
That was a great firewall.
Thank you. And the underlying logic's very simple. The left has, since Donald Trump's election, the left has said that the only people that support Donald Trump are old white racists. Kanye West supports Donald Trump. Therefore, Kanye West must be an old white racist. And this is a problem for them. And the more high-profile people that become old white racists, especially if they're young black hip-hop artists, the increasing number of them becoming old white racists is the end of the Democratic Party. A week after Kanye West said what he said, support for Donald Trump from black males, doubled from 11% to 22%. And this may not seem like a big deal, but this is in fact the Katie bar the door moment for the Democrats, because if they don't carry 85-90% of the black vote, they never win national elections again, ever. They cannot have black America leave the plantation. It's not like they don't want it to happen. It's not like it's a bad idea, gee, it'd be a shame. It's the end of the Democratic Party. Once again, we have to keep our slaves, and we are ready to go to war for it if we have to. So that's exactly what's going on here. And for Kanye West to say he supports Donald Trump was such a catastrophe for the left that it doesn't surprise me in the slightest that Barack Obama has leaned on Jay-Z and Beyonce and all the rest to say, no, we can't have any more cool people support this guy, because every time somebody cool comes out and says he's okay, we lose 10%, 20% of our voting base. So needless to say, you can't have this kind of hemorrhaging, and it's going to do everything they can to stop it. And the question will be, will it be effective or not? And to those young rap artists who have been called by Jay-Z and told not to go to President Trump, because I know you watch this show in the droves, let me just say this. Are you punk enough to have somebody else tell you what you could do with your own life? Are you such a punk that somebody can make a phone call and determine whether or not you're going to go to the White House, or are you going to make that decision on your own? Which are you, Which one are you? Because it comes down to that. Yeah. So, and as far as the celebrity thing goes, if the movie thing, if Barack Obama enters show business, if there's any place in the world where you're likely to fail upwards, this is the place. However, I don't think they're going to be very, very good at it, and I just suspect that the whole thing's just going to end with a giant fizzle of self-adulation, which is pretty much what we saw from 2008 until 2016.
Oh boy, you're right. And you know what? That makes me think of something. I've never been a fan of Kanye West's music, but I've always respected his business sense immensely. You've watched this guy operate on the popular culture scene for so long, and you realize he's the Wayne Gretzky of the music industry. and entertainment industry, he skates to where the puck is going to be, not where the puck is. He's the guy that gets ahead of the trend and helps establish the trend. And that's why we find this Jay-Z report, even though it came from InfoWars, that's why we find it so plausible, so believable, is because if Kanye West is really the guy we think he is, if he's the guy that skates to where the puck is going to be, then yes, other people, other entertainers, other rap stars are going to follow in his footsteps, because this is the guy smart enough to do that. And the guy not smart enough to do that is probably Barack Obama. You know, his 8 years in the White House brought the Democrats to their lowest point since before the Great Depression. They lost 1,000 elective offices statewide, so many governorships, state legislators, and all the rest. And we are seeing them start to recover a bit in these special elections since then. They might retake the House. They're winning races that they might not have won when Obama was still in the White House. So my message to former President Barack Obama is this. Please, sir, stay in the spotlight as much as you can and remind us of where you put the Democrats. And let's watch Kanye and see who follows in his footsteps. It's an exciting time, and we're watching some fissures on the left. Let's break them open. Let's find our wedge issues, okay? We got a lot of time to do this until November. We really do. And thanks for watching. That's your right angle on that. I'm Steve Green. This is brought to you by the paying members of BillWhittle.com. If you'd like to be a member, we'd love to have you on board. Click on over. So for Bill Whittle and Scott Ott, I'm Steve Green. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.